Clitorati. Today we're talking about magic and witchcraft and how this can support you in living your best pleasure-positive life. Magic isn't just some fantasy romanticized by Harry Potter. You can actually cast spells for whatever you desire on areas of life such as relationships, pleasure, abundance, and self-expression. In the studio today, we have the headmistress of Witch School. She is all about turning pain into power, pleasure, purpose, and prosperity. She says, let IntuWitchin be your spirit's guide. And she supports people with discovering how to source their own magic from within. Please welcome manifestation and spiritual healing witch, Mia Magik.
Woo! We're so excited to have you here. We have never done an episode on this before in like the freaking over 200 episodes we've done, 250 now. And I have to be sex witchery. I know, right? Well, we've done sex magic, but not quite like this. Like I personally have been obsessed with magic my whole life. I'm a little witchy. I think we all have a little witch inside of us, and we'll get to that. But I was obsessed with Charmed and Harry Potter, and I can relate to wanting that magic to be real. Can you explain to us what is witchcraft to you?
Yeah, so the word witch means wise. It's the old German and Scottish blend of the word for a wise woman, wise man, the medicine person or healer of the tribe. And craft is also an old German word that meant strength or skill. So witchcraft is actually just strengthening the skill of your wisdom and wielding the knowledge and information that's conceptual in your life and allowing it to become embodied and assimilated into how you operate and how you spend your days and moments. So it's like, what do you learn? What does your pain teach you? What does your pleasure teach you? And ultimately, my experience was that the earth was the greatest teacher and the most unconditionally loving mother, and that my body was made from the same elements as this planet. The earth is my bones, the water is my blood, the air is my breath, and the fire is the electricity that's making my heart beat. And so my personal strong wisdom, or how I have crafted my wisdom, is by really, really deeply relating to the earth and Mother Nature as the feminine essence of creation and sort of the female or the mother god.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And I know that you've been very vulnerable in sharing when you sort of made this life pivot. You said a lot of people said like, oh, you're crazy, Mia. Why don't you get a regular job? Like, can you tell us the journey of how you like made this pivot and really are standing in this, embodiment of this being who you are now?
Yeah. So I left my corporate job almost 10 years ago, and I just didn't want to settle. I was like so willing to be broke. I was like, I would rather have no money and be happy, or at least be like spending my days the way that I want to be spending them, than going and selling my soul somewhere where I don't actually feel good or happy about being, or for me, my experience was like, I feel like my soul is dying. I felt like I was withering away. And so I was broke and just like trying to figure it out. And everyone around me was like, you can't just hope on fairy tales. You can't just like rely on thinking that you can make magic. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, you need to figure your shit out. And I just was singularly focused and what I like to call delusionally devoted to my dream and to what I wanted to be possible and what I wanted to experience in my life. And ultimately, I did it and I made it work. I used to just say during those times that people were like, but what would you want to do? And I was like, I just want to get paid to be myself. I just want to be myself, and I want to be able to get paid for it. And somehow miraculously, throughout the deep journey of, overcoming other people's opinions, overcoming money and financial scarcity, overcoming doubt and sort of mistrust in the universe, like all the things, so many other things, 3 years of celibacy, like deep things I worked on in the period of time where I wasn't yet Mia Magik, which, even Mia, I'm so obsessed with words, even Mia means mine. And so whenever anyone even says my name, they're just proclaiming that they have magic. So I'm like fully here for that. And there was some point where I just realized that there was nothing that was worth giving up, like moving in that direction. And at some point, I knew it would happen. And I knew it's who I would become. And finally it did. And it was a miracle, but it's a collection of all those, like, that's why it's pain into power. It's a collection of all the things that, gave me distress and were super challenging and traumatic for me. And then it was, all the things that the stars designed for me, like that I'm a Gemini with a Cancer moon or a Scorpio moon, and then the Cancer in Mercury, and Mercury is like the messenger of the gods, but Cancer is the keeper of memories. And like, I have this insane memory. And so I can read all these things and then translate it to people in a really digestible way. And it just all came together from maintaining a commitment to my own inner authority and my authenticity. Like, who do I want to be? And then what do I want to do? And what do I want to share? And it was a really long period of people just thinking that I was just a deadbeat or that I was crazy. And it's been pretty nice to get all the DMs from those people being like, damn girl, you did it. I'm like,
right?
Yes. Well, you're the definition of being a creator of your reality, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's overnight. I mean, but 3 years it's been a decade, and the difference you've been able to make and the amount of time you've been able to actually be in the prosperity over this last decade. 3 years is really not much time at all. But it's interesting, right? When we share our desires with people, and as we're in our process of reaching that goal, they have their timelines or expectations for how we're doing.
Right.
I love your DMs. Like, it's such a tribute to, actually, when we just celebrate what people believe in themselves for, we can support them in perhaps achieving that goal even faster. Look what you created, and you had people being like, you were swimming upstream in a sense against your environment. So
for sure. Yeah, like salmon in a log jam kind of vibe.
At that point, you must have been like, just get the out of my way. Love y'all. I'll be back.
I mean, pretty, like, for the most part, but some of them were like my closest friends. It wasn't just like the naysayers and my mom. It was some of it was also people that were on the spiritual path that just, they would say, like, they didn't want to, what's the word? Not encourage, but also starts with an E. Anyways, enable. They're like,
enable.
We don't want to enable you to like keep living this, gypsy life. And I was like, and it wasn't ideal. I couldn't say yes to all the things I wanted to, but man, when I could say yes to anything. And it was just so, yeah, it was a really magical time. It taught me so much. And, I come from a very, at the time, my family has been through many things, but at the time when I grew up, I was very comfortable and very well taken care of. So it was really an important period of my life too, because it taught me how to teach people how to make money. Because when you just like grown up with it and always had it, it doesn't actually really mean as much because you already carry this code that you were born with. And when you like have never experienced scarcity or like not knowing where you're going to sleep at night or, like what's going to happen tomorrow or how you're going to like get another $50 in your bank account because you have like negative 6 cents. And then you can just completely transfigure those patterns within yourself. You can teach people in a way that's different and just more grounded. And so that's like one of my greatest blessings and things that I'm so, so appreciative of that period of time happened to me.
Yeah. Well, and it feels like we're talking about manifestation. We've talked about sex magic on the show before and manifestation, of course, but this is such a part of your ideology. What advice do you have for someone who is, trying let's say they're going through the motions of manifestation and it just isn't working, or they're like, I know it works for some people, but I can't, like, I need to, like, the masculine way of manifesting versus the feminine way of manifesting, like the grind versus receiving, and like inside of that chasm, like how do we break free and really become those magnets?
I think that the biggest block that most people experience to manifestation is that they don't understand their subconscious beliefs. If you don't understand what's underlying, what's really going on, and you're like saying, when you read The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, which is where we get affirmations in repetition and how we program our subconscious mind like that, it takes thousands of those repetitions to actually implement it into your brain. But if you can understand something that I call the inner witch hunter, which is like the version of ourselves or the ego or the fear, whether it's a survival mechanism or a self-loathing pattern that's trying to keep us from our magic, that's trying to keep us from believing that we're worthy of that thing, or like, you shouldn't have that, that's shameful, or you're dirty, or there's something wrong with you. Like all these horrible little self-hating beliefs are from the time when women, queer people, magical beings of any kind were being burned as witches, which has been happening for really the last 2,000 years. Like the last known witch burning was in the early 1900s. So it really didn't stop very long ago.
Yeah.
And so we were systematically oppressed and repressed. All people, like this is colonization and globalization and conversion to Christianity all across the world. But if you can pinpoint what the beliefs are that you have inherited either from your parents or from what they said to you, and like how those things inform your behaviors or your beliefs, like if you're trying to manifest a man, but underneath it all, you believe that all men are, untrustworthy, or they're all pigs, or they're all cheaters. Or if you're trying to manifest money and you really underneath you believe that rich people are evil or selfish or whatever it is, those conflicting beliefs are exactly what hinders our manifestation, because the subconscious reality is actually 90% of what's controlling our world around us. And so, I mean, if you really want to do it, I got a program called Sorceress coming out that is exactly this. Like if you've done all the other things and you're like waiting to the point, like how can we connect with our true magnetic power? And for me, what that was, as I said at the beginning, is connecting to the earth and understanding that rather than trying to validate myself from something outside of me or source my power from something external, I am a reflection of these infinite elements of the earth and the air and the water and the fire and the spirit and the ether and the sound and the vibration. And I can tune in with those things. And when I align myself with those energies, you just harmonize with the universe in a different way. You're literally resonating with our planet in a way that like most people don't even remember that we once knew how, or that it was once very important. It was actually the most important relationship we all once had. And so that has been the key for manifestation with me. And when you look at like the goddess that has been lost, she's the mother, the creator, but she's also the healer. And so we have to heal those wounds. We have to eradicate the old shit that's in the way. And that's when we can then like fill ourselves back up with new beliefs or new behaviors. So the biggest block, I think, to manifestation is really just not knowing what's actually driving your spaceship, like what's really got the reins in your life. And when you can dive into that and understand what that is and work through it, which is the hard part. It takes a lot of courage. It's really uncomfortable. But when you can work through that, that's when, like, I don't even have to do spells and things. Even like for my book deal, my book agent was like, oh, this is impossible. It's never going to happen in 10 days. I was leaving for Antarctica. I was like going to be fully off the grid. And I was like, listen, Colleen, I'm getting this book deal and I'm getting it in 10 days. Don't worry. Like, it's going to be fine. She's like, that's never happened before. I've been in this industry for 45 years. I'm like, okay, well, just trust me.
You've never worked with a witch before.
She told me, like, as I'm getting on the boat to Antarctica, being like, okay, yeah, Hay House wants it. And I'm like, great, like exactly what I knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to force it or push it or cast spells on anyone and like do black magic on someone else's will. I just am like, this is what I know is meant to happen. And so I'm going to allow it to happen.
Right. That's amazing. And congratulations, by the way.
For 4 projects, it was a really big deal.
Yeah. Amazing. So, I'm curious as to, what your opinion is on, I think sometimes people can get trapped in this, like sitting in their room hoping for things, which I think is what like your friends were thinking you were doing. Right. And the relationship to harmonizing, like you were talking about, but also like action, right? Like how do the two work together, right? Like you can't just sit in your room and hope for things.
That's the fire.
Yeah.
Like the earth is the grounding, the water is the flow and the adaptability, the air is the clarity, right? The focus, the precision, and the fire is the action and the transformation. You got to have them all. Like you can't not have one or the other. And you have to have like the spirit. It has to be from you. It can't be from someone else's story. Like, I think that's also why I have been so successful, and not just financially, like Goddess bless the abundance, but I mean like in every way, like that I get to just live my everlasting Harry Potter fantasy and like take people to castle retreats and like go to Hogwarts. It's fucking bananas. Like it's amazing. It's literally the best thing I could have ever possibly imagined.
Yeah.
And it really is, because you have to, like, that's why I call it IntuWitchin, is because it's your inner wisdom. You have to take action on those little nudges, on those little moments where you hear that voice and it says, oh, I think you should go left. Just try it. You're like, what? But the GPS, no, just try going left. And then like you meet someone, or, you find something, or whatever I just lost my light, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
It's just like, you have to have all of the elements. That's the point. And manifest, when you look at the origin of the word, again, mani is like manicure, it's hands, and fest is festival or party. So it's like partying with your hands. It's like creating with your hands, right?
Yeah.
Our hands sprout out from our hearts when we're in the womb. And so it's like how we create with love. And that's like what we're bringing this festive nature to. And that's like your passion. That's your excitement about it. That's the emotional way that you're relating to the desire for the thing, but also collapsing the timeline and being in the expression of already having it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. And you mentioned goddess energy, right? Sometimes it seems like this unattainable, like, how do I really, like, that's actually we call it a pleasure roadmap. Like we design our year, like our pleasure brick road. And part of what I'm really stepping into is like owning my goddess energy. Like, what is the secret to really stepping into that and owning that goddess or God energy for people?
The thing is, it's going to look, that's why we call her She of 10,000 Names. It's going to look different for everybody. My version of it, some of my sisters don't want to walk barefoot in muddy puddles and like run naked through rivers, but that's my goddess energy,
Yeah.
Some people want really, I am a Taurus rising and I have Venus in the first house. So I too love my luxury. I love it. But also like for me, and I hope for more people, I did an amazing other podcast with two other sisters as well the other day. And I was just sharing with them some of my little ways that I am reverent to the earth. Some of the ways that I'm extra conscientious about the sentient goddess whose skin upon which I am bacteria.
Yeah.
And they were so like, So for me, it is just deep, like bleeding on the earth every month and being naked and wild in nature and letting my feet be bare and letting my hair be wild and connecting to the goddess of the earth in the way that like, I don't buy new clothing or new stuff. I only buy used things. I only buy vintage. I, like get everything from everywhere. Like all the little places I spend so much time, like it would take me so much less time and I'd have so many more hours for my goddess practices and like doing all my goddessy things if I didn't like scour the internet to be able to buy everything I need used. But that's what makes me feel like a goddess, because I know that I am living and walking my talk in service to her. And so I think that, that's a big piece that a lot of women forget, is just that we are reflections of the earth for a reason. And she is the ultimate expression of abundance. The way she's not tripping that it's winter. She's like, I'm fucking resting. I'm hanging out. I'm not making acorns right now. Like nobody gets any fruit. I'm chilling. I'm taking a breather, and then there's going to be a moment where I am reborn, and I'm going to be blossoming everywhere, and you're going to be slurping my nectar. And, you know, like she lets herself live the way that we have forgotten to. And so that, I think, is the biggest way to reconnect with goddess energy, because it looks different for everybody. Some people want, you know, we've been so programmed by the patriarchal capitalist system. Like, we think that being a goddess means, you know, 5-star hotels and $5,600 purses and stuff. Like, to me, that's not my goddess energy. My goddess energy is like the kind of eternal energy that can never be lost and that can never be taken away from me or anyone else. And that to me is the truth of what it means to be connected to our goddess energy. And it's like living that nothing can take my sexuality, my power, my pleasure, my authority away from me.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. So we're curious. There was we want to know if we're witches. I mean, I think I am, but there was something that you had created that was, you know, five ways to tell if you are a witch. So like, how can someone tell if they're a witch? And
video, y'all went down into the archive.
it piqued my interest.
Great. Yeah, so I don't know if I remember specifically what I said in that video, but I think that they're probably the same, which one is a connection to nature, is really feeling whatever it looks like for you. Some people love mermaid medicine and baptisms. Some people know the herbs and the plants. Some people know the stars, right? But I think it's just knowing that, you know, even the plants were once our medicines. Before we had any other medicine or pharmaceuticals, all we had was plants and bark and roots, you know, and so a deep connection to nature, a desire to feel more of yourself in nature is one. Two is that connection to your intuition, right? There is a little voice in you. There is this inner wisdom. There is something that is guiding you and compelling you towards a life that maybe looks a little different than the status quo or than society's prescriptions. And I think also there is something about like that manifest, like the party with your hands, is that you want to create things. It doesn't necessarily mean that like you're sculpting or making pottery, but you have this creative impulse. You want to bring something of service to the world. And let's see, what else makes you a witch? I'm like, those are 3 really good ones. And
those are.
But ultimately, you know, it's about your wisdom. It's like, what has life taught you? And are you living in response to what life has taught you? Or are you reacting to how life has treated you? You know?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. That one resonated. Yeah. Yeah. So, and then there was another, you know, we've done a few episodes about periods on this show.
Oh, excellent. One of my favorite topics.
Yeah. I was like, what is, because there was this one video that you had where you were like wiping the blood on your face. And I was like, I have to know what this is about.
Yeah.
That's how she keeps it so cute, honey. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like fully losing, my light is just not working. So I love to use moon blood for rituals and magic, and it's full of stem cells. It's actually uterine lining and umbilical cords are the same substances that we slurp out stem cells that we like, you know, pay $20,000 or $30,000 to have put into injuries in joints and knees. It's all the same stuff. Our period stops when we're pregnant because that same blood, that same uterine lining is going to form a new human. Yeah. And so it's been long associated with magic in old rites and rituals. It's said to be the original blood of Christ because there was no wound necessary to be inflicted. It comes without violence. And it is this just magical elixir of vitality. And so, yeah, I put it on my face when I'm bleeding. This month, I just didn't feel called to. It just wasn't, I don't know. It's been a lot. We moved. I'm doing my book. I'm like working harder than I've ever worked, and my schedule is more packed than it's ever been. So this month, like I didn't feel called to paint with it or manifest with it because our periods really are a shedding, right? Mm-hmm. We have that sense of relief of, oh, I'm not pregnant, because that version of ourself that would have been a parent, the version of that child that may have existed, or the, you know, the whoever the partners are that you had during that time, all of those possibilities fall away and they're no longer viable in any way. That whole timeline falls with your moon every month. And so some months are meant to shed, and some months are like, oh my goddess, this has been the best. Everything's going so great. Like, I want to use this blood, like everything that I've been, who I've been in this month, in this time period, how I've shown up, like what I've created. I want to use this blood to keep fueling and sourcing my creations.
I need to ask a logistical question.
Totally. Seashells,
like,
small chalices. I free bleed. I just have a very deep relationship with my pussy at this point. So I can feel when it's dropping out of my cervix, and I have time to get to wherever I'm going to go. And I put it into a sexy little vessel, like a gold bowl or something. And then that's the first question everyone asks.
I know. I'm like, logistically speaking, if I want to do this. Okay. Amazing. I love that. I love that. Madison, was there any, you had a couple, you had a burning question, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, actually related to the period conversation, we've gotten this asked, like, where do you free bleed? And so I didn't know the answer to that. And so I knew when we eventually would interview you, this would be a question I'd have to ask. What is the ritual look like for free bleeding? Like, I imagine, we're from Los Angeles. Like, I wouldn't recommend to people, go off on the side of the road of the 405 and start like, so what could be like a way for, can you paint a picture for our listeners of like what a free bleed in nature process actually looks like?
Yeah. So like right now I'm just wearing black. So I don't wear anything else during my moon. I just wear black and don't care if I bleed onto anything. And then it does look like just tuning in with your body and seeing, you can generally feel when you're about to bleed. And so for me, I just go outside. I was living in Topanga, now I'm in Boulder. So I can just walk outside onto the earth, and I don't have any neighbors that can see me, and I just do that. And so that's part of my ritual. I have a little song about giving my blood back to the earth that I sing. And sometimes like I said, I'll paint with it or I'll do rituals with it. But really the ancient origins of our moon time, the reason why we sync up with one another is so that women all bled together. And there's a book called The Red Tent. And this is a big piece that we'll be going into in Sorceress, is like these blood mysteries and why women bleed. I mean, we're the only species that bleed the way that we do. And there's so many different elements of our evolutionary process that led us to bleed like this and led to our family systems looking the way that they do. But, once upon a time, you would sleep on straw, you would sit on the earth, and you would just be connected to the ground. And so for me, I just would rather put my blood back on the earth than toxify the water. And, we poison our water every day. Like, flushing a toilet costs like 7 gallons of water every time. Wow. And we don't even think about it. And it's like clean water that people in third world countries would kill to drink, and we shit into it. And so my desire is to do that as little as possible. So not only do I bleed, I also just pee outside just because like I want to, part of my service to the goddess. But when I'm bleeding, it's just like so beautiful to see this like magical red liquid coming out of my body, and like, it'll just like do its little dance in the grass, or right now it's on the snow, which I'm really into. And yeah, it's just primal. It's just natural. That's the thing, is like cups and tampons and pads and like all this stuff and stopping it up and making it taboo and wrong and dirty and gross. That's actually not natural at all. And so it's really just a matter of like, what does that look like for you? I have a friend who like lives in an apartment high up, and I got her into free bleeding. And so she just like squats over one of her house plants now, and I'm like, yes, girl, you make it work for you, Yeah. But having like a really beautiful little vessel, like a chalice or something, that you can just bleed into, and then, you can paint your partner, or you can water your plants, or you can do a moon mask, or, so many different ways you can engage with the blood. But it's I think one of the most expedited ways to reclaim serious feminine power and connect to goddess energy is by doing blood magic, because it's just like, even when you're doing, like, the first time I remember doing it, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And then I took it off. My skin looked so amazing. And I was like, oh shit, this is nice. So
what do you think, Madison? Should we do moon masks? I just finished my period, so I'm going to have to do it in this month. Next month.
Yeah, definitely. I think we should mask each other, actually.
Yeah.
Give each other a little facial, Sister Goddess facial moon masks.
I think I'm only going to do with my own moon blood, but
this is where we're different.
This would only...
I got something on the face one time when my friend was bleeding, and I was like, babe, can you give me some moon blood? Like, put it on my face so it heals faster. And she was like, I don't know if I feel comfortable with that. And I was like, but could you anyways? And she like put a little in a cup for me and gave it. And I was like, yes.
That's so funny.
Healing as well. It really is like the liquid of creation.
All right. Well, hey, anything you say makes you look good, I'll do it.
And
I'll do it. It sounds like it would be really. It also kind of gets you excited to have your period. You're like, ooh, I can like give myself a moon.
Oh, it's
mask
my favorite time of the month. I'm like, so I love it. I love making love on my period. I love like giving myself permission to just move slow. You know, it's like,
yeah, amazing.
Wow, that's powerful. I've never heard anyone say that their period is the favorite time of the month, and so that's like speaks testaments to just your context that you're doing life inside of. That you would say that.
That's true.
Yeah. So that really stuck out to me. I couldn't step over it. Wow.
Amazing. Well, thank you.
Oh my God. Like the sex is so good. Your cervix is so open and just like flush with blood, and your whole body is just like, And because you can't get pregnant, I think there are like other hormones. I mean, I guess you could. Don't take my,
we're not medical professionals.
Not a medical doctor, but it has happened before, but rarely do you get pregnant on your period. And so I think there's also this like part of your body that if you have a partner that's down, the way that you can open and feel so safe, it's just so fucking hot and juicy.
Yeah, I actually am not on birth control. So my favorite time to have sex in a month is on my period, because I just feel like, to me, that is just the way to feel closest to my husband, is when he gets to fully exist inside of me. and
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Amazing.
I'm getting turned on.
Yeah. I actually masturbated right before this just to like be in the vibes with you guys.
You're amazing. I love you so much. You're such a goddess sister at heart. Nice.
I was like, I'm going to do it on camera, so I might as well just do it before and just feel really hyped up. And then did a nice. I think
I'm going to add that to the logistics emails. If you could please masturbate before you come on the show, we would really appreciate it.
Everyone have at least one orgasm before you.
Exactly, within 15 minutes before the show. Amazing. Well, Mia, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this. And for anyone who is more interested in this, I know you have an incredible opportunity right around the corner and some other opportunities. Please share with our listeners about your opportunities and the best way for them to follow you and all the exciting opportunities you have coming up.
Yeah, everything is so wonderful. So I have a free live event on February 7th at 10 a.m. PST called Awaken Your Infinite Magic. That's just a deep dive into like seeing what some of the work and the elemental wisdom looks and feels like. And if you want to go deep, I have a program called Sorceress that is 12 weeks. It's like a mastermind meets leadership program with me, all embodiment practices, coaching, weekly calls, so that we can really be in a powerful container together. With it does have an optional retreat as well. And then I do have 2 retreats in May. One is in Ireland for Beltane. That's like all the, Harry Potter fantasies. We're staying on a sacred site and doing an ancient rite at one of the sites where the Druids and Celtic people have been celebrating Beltane for 6,000 years. So there's lots of magic and everything. My website, my YouTube, and my Instagram is all Mia Magik, MIAMAGIK. Just make sure you have the right spelling, because there's only one of them and a lot of scammers.
Oh, okay. Yes, spelled magic, spelled with a K.
Yeah. MIAMAGIK only.
All right. We will be sure to also link her correct accounts and the opportunity for her free workshop in our show notes. So make sure to take advantage of that. And this was so fun. I can't wait to have my period next month.
that.
And that
amazing.
workshop, that's February 7th. If you're listening to this when this is live, which this comes out on February 6th, this is tomorrow. That free workshop's tomorrow.
So
that's
get
time
on
sensitive.
it. Time sensitive. All right. Very cool. All right. Well, with that, Clitorati, we're going to see you next Tuesday. Goodbye.
Bye.